You may be wondering what will happen at your child's transition IEP meeting. Let's watch as Michelle and Justin prepare for their son Hayden's IEP meeting. Hayden has been receiving services in an early intervention program, and he has been found eligible for special education preschool. Michelle and Justin want to be sure they are prepared to participate as members of the IEP team.
Something I wanted to make sure that we brought up as well is getting him into a classroom where he's getting the attention that he needs.
Well, I feel better about going into the meeting now, knowing at least we have our thoughts jotted down.
Let's join Michelle and Justin as they meet with the IEP team. The preschool special education teacher will conduct the meeting.
All right, well, we'd like to welcome everyone today to Hayden's IEP, and we're glad that you all can make it. If we could just start, we're going to introduce each other and make sure we know what our roles are in this IEP. So I'm Megan Campbell, and I'm the special education teacher.
I'm Justin, I'm Hayden's dad.
And I'm Michelle, I'm Hayden's mom.
My name's Jody Jones, and I am the speech therapist.
My name's Cheryl, I'm the Early Intervention Service Coordinator.
My name's Zach, and I'm the regular ed teacher.
My name's Rebecca, and I'm the LEA.
After the team members have introduced themselves, the special education teacher assures the parents that their input is important and that the team is interested in what they have to say. She also encourages them to ask any questions they might have. The LEA representative gives them a copy of their procedural safeguards along with a brief explanation. She also asks the parents if they have any questions. Justin indicates that they don't have any questions. The team reviews the data from the assessment that was conducted to determine that Hayden is eligible for services. It is important that all team members be aware of this data since it will affect the decisions that are made in the meeting.
Okay, so as we're starting, we're going to go over and review the testing data that we've taken. And the tests that we have been using are the BASC, which is a behavior measure, the Battelle, which is an overall developmental measure, the Vineland, and the Stanford Binet 5. These tests showed that Hayden does have an intellectual disability.
The speech therapist reviews the speech therapy assessment and tells Justin and Michelle that Hayden has a speech delay and that he would benefit from speech services. The special education teacher reviews the results of the eligibility determination meeting and reminds the team that Hayden was found eligible for services. She gives them an opportunity to ask questions, and Michelle asks for another copy of the testing results, which she receives. The team now moves on to talking about Hayden's present levels of academic achievement and functional performance.
All right, now that we have reviewed the testing information, we're going to use that information to write some present levels of academic performance. And what that means is we're going to talk about what Hayden's able to do at this time, his strengths, and maybe some things that Hayden struggles with that we're going to work on in the classroom. So, Mom and Dad, since you know him the best, what are some things that he is really good at? What things does he strive to do? Does he love to do certain activities?
One thing we've noticed he really likes to do is coloring and art. He loves to sit down and do projects and color pictures.
Great. And what are some things that you have concerns about in your home?
We have a little bit of concern about his speech and also about his behavior. Sometimes we've noticed he has a hard time staying on task or following directions.
Okay, we will make sure and discuss that in the IEP then.
Now that the team has reviewed Hayden's eligibility and discussed his present levels of academic achievement and functional performance, they are going to discuss the special factors that need to be considered. Once these special factors are considered, it is time to write the IEP goals. These measurable annual goals will determine what Hayden will be working on in preschool this year. The team determines that Hayden does not need Braille and that he does not need assistive technology. However, the team determines that he needs some behavioral strategies and he needs assistance with communication.
Now we're going to develop some IEP goals that will help Hayden to function in our classroom and to be able to work with his peers. And now this is just some draft goals.
The team discusses goals in several areas of concern. First, the speech therapist suggests that Hayden increase the number of words in his vocabulary.
So right now, Hayden is using some individual words, So we would like to propose a goal that Hayden use up to 25 words.
We also thought it would be good to work on pre-academic skills, which one of those ideas would be match colors with the same color. So he can match blue on blue, red on red. And what do you guys think of that?
I think it's a good idea, but right now at home we've noticed he's really not doing much of any matching at all. I mean, he's recognizes some colors, but he's not matching yet.
Okay, and that's okay because that's something we can continue to work on. And it's going to be a step-by-step process. So at first, we're going to start with physical assistance. So we're going to show him how to do it. Next, we're going to go on to verbal. So we'll, say the thing and have him repeat it back to us. And then by the end, we hope that he'll be doing that independently. Okay. Does that sound okay?
Mm-hmm. Next, the team talks about working on social-emotional skills, and the team decides on a goal for Hayden to follow 2-step directions. Additional goals are written based on Hayden's needs. The team has agreed on some measurable annual goals for Hayden. The next step is to decide what kinds of special education and related services are needed to help Hayden reach his goals. The team is starting by discussing Hayden's speech and language services. The speech therapist recommends that they start with 30 minutes of direct speech services. Michelle is concerned that this might not be enough time to meet Hayden's needs.
Do you think there's any way we could do more than a half an hour of speech? Because as parents, we're really concerned about his speech developing, and we want to make sure that he's really getting as much as he needs for speech therapy.
The team has a discussion, and the team decides to also add speech activities into Hayden's other activities. Michelle and Justin agree and ask whether they can receive progress reports on how Hayden is doing. A procedure for giving progress reports is agreed upon. The team continues to discuss all the services Hayden needs.
I appreciate you expressing your concern. What does everybody else think?
Well, according to the evaluations and the needs assessment that we've done as a team on Hayden, we really feel that 30 minutes a week is a great place to start with his speech and therapy. What we can do is we can have the speech and language pathologist work with the teacher and the teacher assistant in creating some speech therapy techniques that can also be used in the classroom on a daily basis. And we find that he will improve at a much greater rate when everyone is being consistent towards the goals on the IEP. So I would propose that we add an additional 45 minutes daily of speech and language activities that could be added to his service plan.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, that's great. I think it's good that we all be on the same page and that we know what's going on, what he's doing at school. We want to make sure that we know about his progress and what's going on. Can we have it written into the IEP that we get progress reports on how he's doing?
Yes, we can write that into the IEP. That's definitely a possibility. We also do send home quarterly IEP progress reports. But if you ever have questions or concerns, please feel free to talk to us and we can always send home another one. So is that okay with the two of you?
Yeah, great.
Okay, we also send home a sheet that says what skills we're working on every week. So that will be a good indication of the things that we're doing.
And then to help with that, I will also send some homework home or some information about what we're doing in speech as well, so that you guys can do it at home with him and know what we're working on at school.
Okay. We would also like to do 40 minutes daily for pre-academic goal support, and that would be to help with the pre-academics such as sorting, and these services can start right away.
After the team agrees on the special education and related services, it is time to discuss the modifications and supports that will help Hayden to access the curriculum. Once that is done, the team will agree on Hayden's placement. As a last step, everyone will sign the IEP.
All right. We also need to discuss any modifications and supports Hayden is going to need in the classroom.
Okay, well, one thing that we noticed that really helped Hayden in early intervention was a visual schedule. He responds very well to pictures.
Okay, I can add that into the IEP. That's a great idea.
The team has agreed on a visual schedule for Hayden, and Justin asks what can be done to accommodate Hayden's milk allergy. The team decides to involve the school nurse in writing a health care plan for Hayden. Extended school year is also discussed.
Now that we have most of the IEP written, it's time to talk about placement options for Hayden. We know that kids have different types of needs, so we do offer a continuum of placement options.
The LEA describes some of the different placement options that the team might consider. Michelle expresses her concerns about placement.
Well, I know, I'm a little bit concerned about placement as a parent. I'm kind of leaning more towards the special classroom just because I really think he needs that one-on-one support and maybe a setting that's less crowded and less busy.
That is one option, but we do have to remember that the law says that we need to consider Hayden's least restrictive environment.
The team discusses the possibility of placing Hayden in an inclusive setting. Hayden has successfully participated in inclusive settings at church and in early intervention. The general education teacher believes that Hayden could function well in his classes with accommodations and supports.
I just really want Hayden to be successful, so if you guys feel that the inclusive setting is a good place for him to be successful, I'm willing to go ahead and give that a try. I do see the value in him starting out in the inclusive setting, and hopefully he'll even get some modeling from the other kids and maybe even pick up some speech that he hears the other kids discussing, so I think we should go for it.
Please keep in mind that we always as a team can meet together and make changes. So if we see that maybe not sufficient progress is being made, we can always revisit that and come together in a meeting.
Michelle and Justin agree on an inclusive setting, knowing that placement can be reconsidered if Hayden is not making sufficient progress. The team completes planning the frequency, location, and duration of services.
Thank you. I really appreciate all that you guys have done. It's just sometimes a little scary as a parent to come from early intervention and go into preschool, but I think it's going to be good, and I really appreciate all the work that you guys have done to help Hayden be successful, and I'm excited for him to start preschool.
I can understand that. It is a big transition. I want you to know that we are going to work really hard to make sure Hayden has a good experience in preschool. So the last thing we need to do then is to sign the IEP if everyone is okay with everything that's been said. And your signature means that you were present and participated in today's IEP. After we sign it, I will make a copy for you guys to keep in your binder.
Okay. Sounds good.
With the IEP completed, Hayden's IEP services can begin. Michelle and Justin are feeling comfortable with their decisions, knowing that if they have concerns or questions, they are welcome to discuss them with school personnel or even to convene another IEP meeting if it is needed.
Hello, I'm Connie Nink. I am the Preschool Special Education Coordinator for the Utah State Office of Education. On behalf of all of the school district preschool programs in Utah, I would like to welcome you and your child to preschool. The transition meeting is the first time you meet with the local school districts to start planning your child's preschool program. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact your local school district preschool coordinator or the special education director to get some more information.
We hope you have enjoyed watching this model IEP. Remember that the transition IEP is individualized for each child. Different preschool programs may have a slightly different format, but the components of all IEP meetings are the same. For a more detailed description of the transition process and the IEP, be sure to view our companion video on transition from early intervention to preschool. If you would like additional information or support, please call the Utah Parent Center to talk to one of our parent consultants.